Hello, everyone. Nobody's hitting upon this, but I'll hit upon it because you, the flying public, deserve it. You, the taxpayer, just like me, we deserve the truth in every step we do. Because we have so many talking heads out there spewing all of this mess, and some of them are very, very reliable. Others are fantasies. I have no clue, but it is. Let me go into this. The truth about Boeing's AS9100 certification, a fraud in the making. The AS9100 certificate is used in aerospace throughout the world. It's an ISO standard. Those who fly, I have a warning for you. My name is Daryl Guberman. I'm a 40-year expert in quality control. I've spent my career ensuring aerospace medical manufacturing industries meet the highest standards. But today, I am here before you to expose the fraudulent certification process that Boeing is about to undergo. A certification should have been in place 20 years ago, but was ignored while Boeing forced its suppliers to comply. For 2 decades, Boeing pushed and shoved the idea that AS9100 certification was mandatory for its suppliers. They required their subcontractors and suppliers to get certified, entered into a database called OASIS, which is the Online Aerospace Systems Information System run by the International Aerospace Quality Group, which is on the American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board boards, and pay fees for certification audits. Boeing used this database to verify supplier compliance, but Boeing itself never had an AS9100 certification. The fraud behind Boeing's AS9100 certification. Let me lay this out clearly. Boeing enforced AS9100 certification on suppliers while never having one itself. In 2002, Boeing released supplier bulletins that mandated suppliers be certified through a single accreditation body and also another body called the Performance Review Institute for their NADCAP special processes heat treat certification. This meant Boeing controlled who could be a supplier base or the pay-to-play model. Boeing sat on the management committee of the American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board's web page. It was called the Management Committee. So Boeing sat on the management committee of the accreditation body alongside other corporations and had the power to grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. In 2024, Boeing finally decided to get AS9100. Why? Because they knew their lack of certification was being exposed. But can we trust the certification process when the very system is compromised, ladies and gentlemen? What Boeing doesn't want you to know. In April 2024, I stood up at the DHS Subcommittee meeting, exposed Boeing's fraudulent quality oversight. I handed over documents providing that Boeing was quietly removed from the Accreditation Board's Management Committee webpage, the American National Standards Institute, and the American National Crediting Board in August 2024. I handed it to them. Actually, I sent that to them, an attempt to cover their tracks. Then in June 2024, I returned for the deposition of Boeing CEO David Calhoun at DHS. After listening to his testimony, I submitted a 42-page document to Boeing's board of directors at their headquarters demanding real accountability and offering my services to roll up my sleeves and go in there and assist them to right a failing ship. They ignored it. I'm a shareholder too, but over there you got, I guess, 100,000, 50 or 100,000 shares is when they would have probably responded. Blind neglect, I think they call it. In October 2024, I traveled to Boeing plants in Renton, Everett, Auburn, and Northfield, speaking with workers who told me 50 to 200 defects are leaving Boeing's hangars per aircraft, defects that should be fixed before the planes ever left the floor. This is a crisis. Boeing, a self-certifying regulator. Here's something no one in the media will tell you. In 2009, Boeing was made an official FAA regulator, meaning it can self-certify its own aircraft technologies and designs. Aircraft technology, the MCAS system, which caused 2 deadly crashes in 2018 and 19. The FAA never had to approve it because Boeing itself was the regulator. Boeing employees were made FAA inspectors, but their salaries were paid by Boeing, not the FAA. Who do you think they were more loyal to? Every Boeing CEO, this means, since 2009, has effectively been an FAA administrator, yet no one in Congress, the media, or the industry will acknowledge this. Did you hear that? Every Boeing CEO since 2009 has effectively been a de facto FAA administrator, yet no one in Congress, the media, or industry will acknowledge this. The ultimate question, can we trust Boeing's AS9100 certification? Can we? Now that Boeing is finally seeking AS9100 certification, we have to ask, does this certification actually mean anything, or is it just a rubber stamp? Why did Boeing remove supplier bulletins from 2002 to January 2025 that expose their role in controlling the accreditation systems? And within those two documents, they would say, send in your cert, send in your parts, we will come see you if the need arises or if need be. Why did Boeing and the accreditation board delete web pages providing that Boeing could control who gets certified by granting, suspending, or withdrawing certification? That's on the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accrediting Board's website. They took it off in August of 2024. With Boeing's history of self-regulation and FAA oversight, can we trust any certification they receive? The bottom line, you are not safe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not safe. You're not safe by federal government being entrenched with corporate America. We're not safe at all. As a Boeing shareholder, I demand answers. As a quality expert, I see a broken system. As an American, I refuse to sit silently while corporate greed puts lives at risk. Boeing AS9100 certification is a fraud. Did you hear me? It is a fraud. It's a desperate attempt to cover up 22 years of negligence. And unless Congress, the FAA, and the American people demand real accountability, every Boeing aircraft will remain a gamble with your life. The final crescendo here, as David Foster Wallace said, the truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow citizens, my friends, I leave you this video about Boeing, about the truth about Boeing's AS9100 certification, a fraud in the making. Every one of you who had Boeing shove this up your ass, and we can use that terminology. Every one of you. Unbeknownst to you, Boeing Commercial Airlines never had it. They just started to get it in August 2024. I would demand a refund if I was you. But you know what I hear? Daryl, I have a very good relationship with my registrar, with the auditor. He gives me 0 nonconformance. Daryl, I've got to pay to play. Put the ticket in. We get it. Do they know anything about the function of AS9100 or any standard? No, they have the poor quality manager has to handle that shit. And then you hear things from the auditor. I can't give you 0 nonconformances because the registrar is going to think that you and I are in bed together. Can you do something? It happened to me. I gave them my crown, actually a vernier that was out of calibration, and they wrote it up when I was working for somebody else in the plastics arena. You cannot make this up. The AS9100 certificate that Boeing is obtaining is as much a fraud as the 22 years of neglect that Boeing gave their suppliers. Send in your cert, send in your parts, and as the need arises or need be, we'll come visit you. I say this as a Boeing shareholder. Change your flights and go on an Airbus. Change your flights and go on an Airbus. 203-556-1493. Will it be better? I guarantee nothing, but I would rather go on an Airbus than on a Boeing. I thank you.